All right, it's Goji time once again. Back at you with another Goji box. I've been waiting for this one for a while. It's actually 2 days late, but better late than never. Let's get this open and get it out of the box. Now, once again, before I unwrap this guy, I just want to give another shout out to Sean at Showcase Daikaiju. Great store. And it's always a pleasure purchasing a Goji from them. And I just wanna say, you know, if you're looking to get some nice Godzilla Bandai figures, Showcase Daikaiju is the place to go. Care to take a guess what this one is? Could be an Oscar award winner, possibly. But as you can see here, you know, Showcase Daikaiju goes above and beyond to make sure that the figure gets to you without any damage. So let's get them out of the bubble wrap now. All right. So it's the pre-irradiated version of Godzilla -1 from Bandai. I'll show you the card here. It's, you know, nothing special. It's just a Godzilla -1 logo. They don't have a picture of him on there. Very, very plain card. But you can see this figure right straight off the bat. This figure is very nice. And that's without even getting into any of the detail of it. It just looks fantastic. Straight away. And I'm gonna examine all the details for you on this guy, and we'll talk a little bit about his role in the movie. I'm gonna just get that card into a piece of plastic, and then we'll continue with the review. So now, you know, if you've seen Godzilla -1, then you know that this guy basically jump starts the movie. It starts out with the pilot landing on Odo Island, and we get to see this pre-irradiated version of Godzilla -1 appear within the first 5 minutes of the film. And it's certainly memorable when he comes out. It's a really gritty look to it. You know, of course, we saw, you know, a dinosaur on Odo Island in Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, when they basically, you know, go back in time to erase Godzilla and create King Ghidorah. And, you know, this version of that is a much better looking dinosaur, or pre-irradiated version of Godzilla than what we got in Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, which basically just looked like a dinosaur. This is much more menacing. I love the way he looks from the front, you know, like that's terrifying. And of course, the dorsal plates are on their way to becoming the famous dorsal plates of Godzilla -1 here. And you can see that these dorsal plates are spikier than normal on Godzilla -1, which I love. And the spikes continue down to the tip of the tail. You know, when he comes out in the movie, it takes place at night. So he's kind of dark. And I think that that's what they went for with the look of this figure. It's dark grays as far as the paint work is concerned, mixed with some browns here and there, which I happen to really like. You can see it's just spread out throughout. And that's, I guess, you know, to give the impression of, you know, a darker look, him showing up on camera at night. Maybe it's like dirt or mud. But I really like the way that looks. So that this paint job certainly gives him a unique look to it. I know there's a lot of people out there that just complained about all of the Godzilla -1 figures for whatever reason. I happen to like them very much. Speaking of the dark look to him, you can see his fingernails and toenails are black, which I really, really like in this figure. It's chock full of detail all over. As you can see there, look at the detail on the tail, man. You know, so you got detail from the tip of the tail to the legs, going up to the back of his neck, the back of his head and neck. And some really, really nice detail on his chest. The skin on this thing looks great. And then a nice touch, which I've seen other reviewers talk about, is you could see scarring. You see one on his tail. You see several on his legs in front. I believe there's another one right there. That's cool, you know. Not really sure what that's supposed to represent. Possibly it represents, you know, the regenerative powers that he would later display in the movie, being able to heal himself. So they just, you know, they add these nice scars. See him on his tail right there. In several different places. You can see, if you can see on his leg right there, there's a couple. And I just love that. And I also really, really like the teeth. They're painted very well. The inside of the mouth is painted very well with like a nice burgundy or blood red color, which you could see like extends to the sides of the mouth also. The eyes are just, okay, they're just mediocre. You know what I mean? And they don't have to be anything that special, really. They're just there. You know, I think the overall look, the look of the mouth, the look of the head, the detail on the body, the paint job, the paint on his nails, the browns going all the way through them are the highlight, and the scarring are the highlights of the figures, where, you know, the eyes just being simple like that is not really that much of a drawback. You're not focused on his eyes. His eyes are kind of small here. So, you know, I just think, I think this is a fantastic figure. Of course, it's a little smaller than the -1 figure, you know, that he would later turn into Godzilla -1. But it has to be that way because the creature himself was smaller in the movie, so it's going to represent that on vinyl. I really like this. I already saved a spot for it on the shelf. I love Godzilla -1. Like I said in the movie, he appears within the first 5 minutes. He basically attacks the crew of mechanics that are repairing planes on the island. And, you know, the kamikaze pilot, who basically didn't want to die, he has, you know, he basically has a gun on the plane to shoot it, but he once again, you know, can't pull the trigger, and it costs all the rest of the guys their lives. So, you know, this guy kind of gives him the motivation to get some courage later on in the film, to battle against Godzilla, to try to take out Godzilla. You know, but it's an important part of the movie. It jumpstarts the movie. When you go to see Godzilla -1, you're not expecting him to come out that fast. So it's kind of cool when he does. You know, they talk about the legend of Godzilla on Odo Island briefly in the movie, which is nice that they threw it back to that. And this is just so cool. This is just a nice piece of vinyl. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody's complaining about every single -1 figure, and I think they're all awesome. So I just don't agree with the sentiments on that. You know what I mean? I like the basic paint jobs that they do for them. I think they convey Godzilla -1 really nicely. And I'm just very, very happy to have them. I'm going to pull out the regular Bandai Godzilla -1 and put them next to this guy so you can see how they scale. Okay, so this is how he started out, and this is what he turned into in the movie. And I think it's great that we have these two versions of it. I loved the progression from how he turns, from how he goes from this into this in the movie. And I really like these figures. I like the minimalist approach on the paint job. I like the all gray dorsal plates. I like how they just brushed it with paint on the front. I like the minimalist approach to these figures because I think they really convey how they looked in the movie. And there's nothing wrong with them. These are two really, really nice figures. I think these are well done. I think these are two of the nicer figures Bandai has done. So I'm not really getting what the complaints are, where the complaints are coming from. These are really nice. I happen to like all the Godzilla -1 figures. And I definitely will be scooping up a bunch of them in the coming weeks and months, including the SH Monster Arts and just whatever I see out there from Godzilla -1 that I like. The Ultimate -1, I think maybe Super 7 does that. I gotta grab that one too. But I like a bunch of them. So yeah, I don't know. I don't get the hate that these figures are receiving. I'm not really sure why, you know. Maybe you gotta be like a real paint nerd or a figure nerd to see it. I just see two well done figures. And there's figures I'll be nitpicky about, but I don't think these really deserve a lot of the hate that I've been seeing on them. I really quite enjoy them. And I'm happy that Bandai put them out. And here, you know, as far as articulation is concerned, you're just getting arms and legs on this guy. And that's fine. You know what I mean? To me, he's already in the best pose he's going to be in. It's, you know, when you see him like that, this is how he looked in the movie. He kind of had the hunched over neck. And I really think they nailed this figure. I love it. I love all the colors and the nooks and crannies on this figure. Godzilla's skin on this figure is really, really dope. Look at that, especially on the neck. Those little tiny dorsal plates on his neck. Fantastic, man. Teeth are excellent. Look at that. Perfectly painted teeth. The inside of the mouth is painted beautifully. You know? You could kind of forgive the eyes. They're serviceable, whatever. And I love the fingernail paint. These splotches of brown are really, really nice. It gives good depth to it. The scarring is nice. This is a great figure. And this was only, I don't know, 30-something bucks. Something like that, 40 bucks. From Showcase.Kaiju. Great store. But, yeah, this is I recommend it. I recommend all of the Godzilla -1 figures. Screw what anybody has to say. I love the movie and I love the figures to go with it. So I'll be gobbling more of them up and doing as many reviews as I can on them. This is really nice, you know. I was actually really looking forward to this one, and it definitely doesn't disappoint. I've seen several reviews on it. You know, you want to get an in-depth review, you could you know, take a look at some of the bigger reviewers. I just wanted to talk about how cool it was, talk about the movie a little bit, and just show you firsthand how nice it actually is. So, scarring is a nice touch also, you know. Yeah. I'd like to get the reasoning behind the scarring. I'm going to have to look that up and see, you know what I mean. Could have did a better job on the card. Maybe that's the only one drawback. The card and the eyes. But, yeah, overall, this is really nice. So, yeah. You know, I definitely like the Bandai Godzilla -1 figures than the Godzilla X Kong movie monster series that are coming out. You know, which everybody is. I feel the hate on those are justified. You know what I mean? Because they're kind of like the same sculpt, same design. Don't paint the tip of the tail. Like, it's not necessary to have paint on this one. You know, the dorsal plates are so nice all the way to the tip of the tail. They don't need to, they could be that gray and still be awesome. That plain gray. So, because the rest of the figure is so highly detailed. And it just fits. It fits Godzilla's skin. It fits the look of -1 to have these all gray spikes going down to his tail. You know, I love it. All right. Get you some -1 Goji, people. Peace out. See you with another one.